Welcome to the Controlling Cash Flow and Credit Club, where we talk home-based business, income shifting strategy, and credit repair with your host Melissa King, my econ, and Tony of the Tony Clopton Show. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave us a comment. Now let's do this.
Trying to figure out why is it still going.
What's up?
Oh shit. Okay. Am I here?
You are here.
I'm here. Okay.
Yeah.
It looked like it was gonna start over again. I was like, they got that nifty little feature now where you can just make it play the intro. So when it cut off, I was like, is it gonna do it again?
Yeah, we are in here. Let's go, MK. What you got going on?
Look, we're back on my channel this week. Somebody did it one time on theirs, and now we had to come back over here like he couldn't do 2 times in a row. But anyway, hi everyone. My name is Melissa King, and I am a home-based business owner. We come out here every week to talk to you guys about money, and more money. Because, everybody needs a financial checkup every now and then. Everybody needs to know options. Everybody needs to know what they can do to get themselves in a better place financially. Right. My partner over here, Phil Clopton, we have taken an oath and vowed to come and share as much financial literacy as possible. Even if it, not if it kills us, but even if it inconveniences us sometimes. Right. We're going to come out here and talk to y'all about how you can improve your finances. Because there's one thing everybody can relate to is a conversation about money. Whether you got it or you don't got it, you still can relate to the conversation. So I have been doing this business come November 17th. It will be 9 years. I was introduced to it by the fella over here. Is that the right way? Yeah. The fella over here, I Facebook stalked him because I saw he had, you see, y'all have to know the fella. He was forever coming on Facebook and social media talking about a new something, whether it was a new business, a new adventure, a new whatever. So, after a while, you just kind of be like, old girl on the color purple. I'm gonna wait and see what the walls look like this time after he gets through with this adventure. But I noticed he kept coming back and talking about, his finances. He was doing this, and he kept talking about he was cash flowing. I'm like, what cash flow mean? Is that the same thing as making money? So he was doing what social media posts are supposed to do. He was invoking conversation, wonder, nosiness. Right. And so finally, in November in 2015, my nosiness got the best of me. I was sitting there in front of the computer on Sunday, and I was like, I'm going to inbox him to see what he's talking about. So, I've told this story many times. When I reached out to him, I said, look, I don't want to hear no long, drawn-out storyline. I don't want to watch no videos. I don't want to do none of that. I want you to tell me what I can do to, tell me what you're doing and how it can help me. So, surprisingly, he came through. He told me exactly what he was doing. He related it to my situation. And by the time he was finished, I was sitting there prepared to come back and be like, well, what about, no. But I didn't have anything to come back in with. And trust me, I always got something to come back with. But this particular time, I didn't. So after learning about my econ, hey, guest, we got some guests in the building, Tony. Miss
Yeah,
Kim?
I'm sharing it to a couple of different groups. So just
Okay.
keep talking, do your thing.
All right. Well, I just wanted to acknowledge folks to say hi while I can see them, because Miss Kim Blingbar says hello, Melissa and Tony, and
Hello.
Nellie Collier Labart says
Hey,
hello.
Nell.
So hey, so anyway, Tony is telling me about this. So I went ahead and I was like, okay, I'll bite, because the thing that was really good about it is I was not locked in. He told me, look, try it for 30 days. If you don't like it, if you feel like it's not for you, you're not getting anything out of it, you don't have to continue. There's no contract. You're not stuck doing this or whatever. It's up to you. So, anytime somebody give you an out, you kind of like, well, long as I ain't stuck, long as y'all not still gonna be billing me, month after month, and I got to call this one, So anyway, it was very easy to get started. We got started. He introduced everything to me. He helped me update my W-4, which is very important because that is what really brought money and back into my household, and kind of was the catalyst that sponsored all the other things that started setting in motion, like paying off debt, paying my car note off early, doing some investing, updating my 401k at work so that I got better results from that. So all of that came from me just being nosy and signing up. And when I got ready to sign up, I'm like, I'm waiting on the ball to drop. I'm like, okay, how much is this gonna cost me? So back then he was like $179. I was like, a month? And he was like, no. It's one. My chest is going. I don't know why I don't want me to be great. But anyway, so he said, no, just the one time. After that, there's a monthly fee that you pay to keep, because you are going to be a business owner. You're a business owner now. So you're gonna have a monthly fee of $34.95. You pay that every month, and that's for your website. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, this is too good to be true. It's something he's not telling me. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, after I was like, so this is my final question. What kind of business am I gonna do? Because I'm thinking, I ain't really got no skill like, some people sew, cook, I don't have a special skill that I can market it just right off the top of my head. And he was like, and I know he was probably thinking, she's slow. I already told her one time, this is the business. Providing financial support and information is the business. And I was like, but how that work? So anyway, if you have the same questions I have after watching this video, reach out to us and we can do this. He can do for you, and I can do for you what he did for me. He explained it to me, and here I am 9 years later, bada boom, bada bang, right here. So now, without further ado, let Professor Clopton, and I call him Professor Clopton because he has his PhD in money. And y'all know a PhD, that's like the highest degree you can get, right?
Right.
Now, so a lot of the financial people like to brag about, they got their degree from Harvard, Princeton, or Yale. He didn't go to those schools. I'm telling you what school he got his degree from. The School of Hard Knocks. Now, y'all, let me tell you something. It's easy to get in, but it's hard to get out.
Oh, yeah.
So, he done been through all the trials and tribulations. He had all the money issues. I don't care what college professor you go get to try to talk to you about money. I dare them to challenge Professor Clopton over here on what he knows about his economy. And that's just why this business is called My Econ, because it's about my economy. For him, it's about his economy. Everybody's different. So, Tony, just tell the people something. Let them know, spread some of your professorness.
Okay. Hey, MK, I appreciate you. I almost trying to figure out who you were talking about. I was like, man, she's totally saying some good stuff.
Y'all remember last week, I ain't get none of that when I was on here.
Okay, so check this out. I'm going to say something that may not make sense to y'all when I say this. I am very experienced in the struggle. Like Melissa say, I got a PhD in struggling. I know what struggle feel like, y'all. So I'm gonna share something with y'all that when I heard it, it made too much sense. Like Melissa said, sometimes things sound too good to be true. Well, if it do, what you gonna do? A lot of people just sit there and look crazy at the information. Well, I don't do nothing, like a deer in the headlights, right? It sounds too good to be true. Somebody going to jail. What's the catch? What's the scam? What's the pyramid? What's all of this? What's all of that? I done heard it all. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're operating by the rules of the wealthy and doing what wealthy people do and following the IRS compliance, that means you're doing things by the book. You will win, and can't nobody take that from you. So I'm gonna tell y'all, I've been in this business a little bit longer than Melissa. The company has been around for going on 20 years. They'll have 20 years, and I'm gonna tell y'all, most companies don't last that long. They have an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. They've cash flowed over $500-600 million. That means people like me and Melissa have paid off credit cards, cars, trucks, some houses. Some people have even walked away from a job. And now you're trying to figure out how you gonna do all of that on a $40 business. Here's where the magic happens, y'all. Y'all gotta hear me on this. The magic happens by sharing it with other people that don't understand the struggle. Credit repair. Need a pay raise on your job. Y'all see my background? I put this up for y'all. Tony and Melissa did not make this stuff up. We got a full website and system that teaches you how to get cash flow positive. We're talking about money that you're losing, money that you can make on the side by sharing this information. We're talking about not overpaying, not being over leveraged in credit. All of the things that people struggle with, this company has taught us how to fix the problem. And I'm telling y'all, this is the year that I said I'm going to move a comma. That means I made a couple of $100 last year. This year, I'm making thousands of dollars. And we have a system that can get you there. And I'm so excited about sharing this information because I know November and December, a lot of people's pockets going to get tore up. And we got something to help you maneuver and get wealthy in the last two months of this year. So that's my spiel. MK, all of you.
All right, Belfer. Now, this has been a long week. I titled this, what did I title it? I titled this, the votes are final. What now? Now, I don't even want to go back into the whole political rigmarole. Been there, done that. Now it's time to, whether you depressed behind the results or you celebrate behind the results, now is the time for you to get your plan together of how you're going to proceed in the upcoming year. We're going to have a complete change in administration. So, that's going to mean some changes probably. I'm not a big politics person, so I ain't going to sit up here and pretend like I know all of that stuff. But what I do know is regardless of who is running the country, my mission and my goal is the same, to be financially sound and in a good place. So one of the ways I do that is with my 9-to-5 job. I'm not a complete home-based business owner and that's it. I'm hybrid right now, just like Dozen Clock, and we both have a 9-to-5, but we also have the business. So with the new year coming in and all the expenses, like he said, that we're about to run through with the holiday season and everything, now is the perfect time, not January 1st. Now is the time to start figuring out what your next phase is going to be with your finances. I joined this business, like I said, November 17th. The year was almost over. We had another month left in 2015. It didn't matter. I still started that business, and when I got ready to do my taxes for 2015, I had deductions. That's the best part of this business. As soon as you get started, it don't start next pay period, next month, January 1st. As soon as you get started, that is when you start reaping the benefits if you go ahead and put all of the strategies in motion. What are strategies? If you had to explain to somebody, Tony, what strategies are, how would you relate it to this business? How would you phrase it?
Like Talking about the strategy that we use in this business?
Yeah, like if you were trying to explain to somebody, we give you strategies.
Right.
How would you make them understand how these strategies are going to help them?
Well, I would say we would give them strategies that are not being taught in school, and that's by design. The strategies of the wealthy. Wealthy people use a different set of strategies, not middle class, not talking about poor class, but if you want to learn and win the money game, you have to start doing what wealthy people do, and they use strategies and a combination of strategies, and we have them packaged inside of this membership.
Right. So Ms. Kim said she wants multiple commas.
I know that's
She
right.
ain't stopping at one. She wants multiple commas. And
That's
I'm not,
right.
I ain't mad at you. Now, see, the good thing about this business is another good thing is that, you know, it's like you always say, it's a how you put a business in a box. Like
Yeah.
it comes already with everything you need to be successful. So because my financial goals may not be the same as Tony, there are several different strategies that you can decide how you want to apply them and how you want to start working on, you know, changing your financial situation. For me personally, my reason for my interest, you know, I had a good job. I was making good money. I didn't own. I rented. I was in an apartment rent, and I still rent. You know, I had one child, so you know, and I'm speaking in terms of taxes. So when it came around to filing taxes and figuring out whether I was going to owe, which was most of the time the case, or whether I was going to get a refund, I was in a bad spot. You know, it was almost like your reward for working hard and getting a good job is that you got to pay up more money taken out of your check. I'm like, that don't sound like a reward to me. So, you know, I was at a point where I was like, I don't know what else to do. I'm having them to take extra money out of my check every pay period just to kind of avoid owing at the end of the year. And I'm like, that just don't seem right either. Because I'm giving y'all either way, it was coming out whether I was giving them extra money during the year or if I was writing them a check at the end of the year. The results was the same. My pockets were lighter. So I was trying to figure out how I can avoid that. So, you know, Tony explained the business to me and how if you have a business, then you are eligible for tax deductions that a regular W-2 employee won't get. Some of the same things that I was doing before I started this business that I could not count as a deduction, when I started my business, the game changed. Like before, I couldn't say that using my cell phone was business related when I didn't have a business.
Right.
I still had a cell phone bill.
Mhm.
And after I joined the business, I still had that same cell phone, but now this cell phone is a tool that I'm using. Like for instance, right now I'm doing this video on my phone.
Mhm.
So if I had to prove that my phone is business related, I got all of these videos,
Mhm.
all the advertising, everything that I do on my phone. That makes my phone a part of my business. So now, when Verizon takes that 160 out of my account every month for my cell phone, it hit a little different when I know 85% of that is deducted.
Right.
So technically, I'm not paying a full phone bill. I'm paying 15% of a phone bill. You know, so it hits a little different. Even as far as like StreamYard, we're doing this video on StreamYard. I use StreamYard for my business. Therefore, the money that StreamYard charges every month for this app, I'm able to write that off because I'm using it for my business. Now, that's more specific to this part of the business. But then, even like mileage on my car,
Ooh,
like I work from home.
that's a big one for me. I'm gonna share this.
Go ahead.
So a lot of people think, Tony, you be going to the gym and you just be getting it in. I even have Melissa say, I don't see no sweat. Even my wife say, oh, you finna just run by the gym and throw your hands up. And I'll be like, yes. So most people don't realize that if you're going to go to work, you have to have what they call a temporary workplace. It's in the IRS publication. They said you cannot get mileage leaving your home and going to your job and coming home. you have to have a temporary workplace. So most people, if they watch my videos, they're going to see me in the gym. I don't go in there to sweat. I go in there and kind of get a little tight, show my face, wave, see some folks. And then I do a video. So now the mileage that I put on my vehicle, leaving home and going to work and back home, becomes a taxable event. Now, people tripping about gas prices. Do you not realize that the mileage that you put on your vehicle could actually pay for the high mileage that you pay, the gas mileage? So I don't trip about not the gas price, whether it's $10, $15 a gallon. Now that I understand that the government is going to give Tony some of his money back because I'm going to write it off in my business. Everything that you do supposed to be a taxable event. And that's what we're teaching in this business. All right, because I just want to share that.
And y'all might have noticed the condescending look on my face when he talked about that gym, because I refuse to believe that anybody is actually working out and they don't never break a sweat. I'm talking about his skin don't even look oily. You gonna convince me that you in there pumping iron.
Right.
That's beside the point. I'm leave that alone.
Leave that alone.
Miss Kim for sharing. She said she liked to share because sharing is caring. Hey, Jill. Jill Comfort Zone is another one of the YouTubers I follow. Awesome. I recently was just watching a poetry contest she did. So she is an active YouTuber that has a lot of good information. Miss Kim, actually, let me do a shameless plug. This ring that I have on, I got that from Miss Kim's Bling Bar because she is paparazzi. She does paparazzi jewelry. So if you wonder why my accessories look so fabulous, that's Miss Kim. So check out Miss Kim. So these are people that do business as well. Because when you think about it, YouTube is one of the best businesses that you can have as a home-based business without a lot of overhead. Because the most that you're having to do, like we're doing right now, is get your phone, which you was gonna use anyway, hit the button, promote whatever business you're doing, and then all of that becomes a way to, get tax deductions. Because the best thing about a home-based business is a lot of the things that you do every day that was not a deduction as just a W-2 employee. Now it opens the door. You legally can say that you're using these things to run your business. So that was the biggest advantage for me. I was like, I don't have to go out and buy a bunch of makeup products and have them stacked up in my house and try to chase people down to get them to buy lipstick. I don't have to go door to door selling vacuums. I don't have, there's so many businesses out there, and every business is not everybody is good at everything. I personally, the fact that I'm still doing this still baffles me because I'm the type, I'm not finna try to sell you nothing. Okay. Whenever, this is how bad I am. Whenever Naya comes home with something she's selling for the school, I'm like, I ain't finna be worrying folks with this stuff. Go on and write her a check for $50. We're gonna make a donation. I'm not gonna be out there trying to bug folks, wrapping paper, candles, cookies, whatever they selling, popcorn. So this is just not who I am. So when I first started this business, everybody was like, you gonna be selling stuff? And I was like, I don't know how successful I'm gonna be, but I'm gonna try. But what I found out in doing this is it doesn't feel like you're selling anything. It feels like you're just telling your story and being a witness to other people on how this business has helped you. And a lot of times we don't have a hard time telling a good story. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Tony got the gift for gab, so he's a little bit better at it than I am. And then he like the ultimate hype man. I myself am very shy and
reserved.
Very shy, reserved. I don't talk a lot. I'm a bit of a wildflower, so this is a lot for me. But Tony, if you on YouTube, if you on TikTok, if you on Instagram, and you on Facebook, and you ain't seen Tony Clopping, I don't know where you been because he all over the place. All over the place. All the time.
Melissa, one of the main things that I really like about this business is It's really about your lifestyle. What do you do every day that you can make some money off of? Most of us go to work every day, right? So this thing in the background is what they call a W-4. That's one of the first strategies in our business. And I was like, man, this is way too easy to get people to understand because I'm doing it. I'm doing this. Oh, I see you, girl. I'm doing it. So let me break this down for people that don't know. The purpose of the W-4 is to tell your employer how much to withhold from your pay.
Right.
You're going to fill this form out right or wrong when you go to your job. And one thing about this company, it taught me how to fill it out the right way where I can actually get a pay raise. As you can see, it say give yourself a pay raise without asking your boss. And for this form, it was like an eye opener for me because it actually pays for my business. It's like I'm paying this business with money I was losing. I was losing the money anyway. So that's one of our first strategies in this business is how to show you how not to lose the money and to use that money for your own personal gain. So just joining this business alone is going to get you some money if you have this form filled out wrong. And I'm telling y'all, you cannot lose if you join this company and stick with it. You'll never lose again, ever.
Right. And you know, I think the best thing to me was, you know, I have a college degree, but it has nothing to do with money. I'm in healthcare. So, you know, and people automatically think when they know you and you've been to school that you got, you know, all of this financial sense. That is not true. But then at the same time, I was 40 years old, so I'm too old to not know certain things. So I just would not talk about it. You know, when people ask me, you know, I had Tony Levin before, people be like, do you do a Schedule C? And I'm sitting there like, I don't know what no Schedule C is. Do you do one? Well, yeah, I do one too. I didn't even know what Schedule C was. But, you know, you don't want to look like you don't understand. But what I realized is you got to get over there. Because trying to look like you know what you're talking about versus getting the information that's going to help put money back in your pocket, I'll be a little embarrassed. I don't care.
I know that's right.
Because I tell people all the time, before I joined this business, I had no idea how they decide whether you're going to get a refund or you're going to get a bill. So, you know, I would go to my tax person. I was the same tax person for years, but she never broke down and explained to me. You know, they give you the little sheet, you fill out, you put your information on there and everything. But it's like a daddy back in the day when the baby was about to be born. You know, they have sitting out there in the weight room. So she had me sitting out there in the weight room, and then she'll call me back there, and it's like drum roll. You know, I'm waiting to see my heart beating fast. How much I owe? Am I getting anything back? So then finally she would give me, well, okay, you're gonna get this much back. And I'm sitting there like, you know, like I just spent the big wheel on The Price is Right, and it landed on the money.
Yeah.
So, but she never explained any of how she comes up with, you know, the process. And then I didn't know what questions to ask.
Right.
You know, I would ask her, is there anything I can do to help me out next year? She gave me the typical answer. You can either have a baby,
buy a house.
Or buy a house.
Right.
I wasn't prepared to do none of that.
You know what? I asked my tax preparer the same thing, and he's an older white gentleman, and I'm gonna tell you, he actually shared the game with me, and I had already kind of understood it. That's why my econ is so powerful now, because this guy was getting me back $14,000-$15,000 in tax refund, right?
Right.
And I'll tell you how he was doing it. I had an existing business. So he started telling me about these tax write-offs. I had like a pressure washing business. I've always had some type of business, but just because you got a business don't mean you know what the tax deductions are about, right? So he started giving me game, and I was like, wait a minute, I can write off my cell phone? I can write off the mileage of my truck, depreciating? I was like, wait a minute. So I'm getting 15, 20,000, and I'm getting scared. I said, man, that's too much. I don't really need all of that. But I was overpaying my taxes.
That will make you nervous, won't it?
Yeah, I was like, man, this ain't right. But when he broke it down to me, he said, Tony, you paid a little over $25,000 in taxes. You have business deductions. So those two together kind of gave me a bigger return. Now, ain't nothing wrong with a return if you want it, but you need to know why you're getting a return.
Right.
And everybody has what they call taxable income. If you
Mm-hmm.
make 100,000, typically you're going to pay 25, 30,000 in taxes. But if you
Mm-hmm.
have a business, what we're trying to share with you is you lower your taxable income with business deduction. That's stuff that you're spending money on. That helps lower your taxes, and even putting more money in what they call an investment account lowers
Mm-hmm.
your taxes as well. Because labor making money is always taxed at a higher tax rate. So if your only income is you going to work every day, that means you're going to get taxed at a higher rate. And the
Right.
only way you can offset that is to start a business, like Melissa said, have a child, have some deductions like a house or something like that. But a business is the easiest, simplest way to get most of your money back. That's going to help lower your taxable income.
Exactly. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, I was 40 years old before I found all this stuff out. Walking around here, going to work, getting paid, not understanding. Because, it finally clicked when I got in, and they was like, well, when they give you a tax refund, that's just money you done overpaid, and they giving it back to you. So I'm like, oh, that's good. And it's so crazy because the word is refund. So
Yeah.
refund usually means they're giving you something back.
Again.
But that concept was lost on me. I had no idea how the tax system worked. All I knew is people told me they're going to take taxes out of your check. The more you make, the more they're going to take. If you work overtime, they're going to take a whole lot out. But I didn't know the rhyme or reason behind it. So knowledge really is power. Because when you learn
I got to say this. I've heard people say knowledge is power. It's really the applied knowledge. So once you get the membership and then you apply it to your own personal situation, that's when you're going to see the return. Because I know a lot of people that know about the W-4, but don't do nothing with it or don't understand it fully. And they say, well, I already knew about all of that stuff, the W-4 stuff and everything. Right. I've had tax preparers tell me that they know the W-4, they owe. And I'm like, wait a minute, you got a full tax business and you're owing taxes? That's a red flag for me. Because if you knew the tax game, you have millionaires that pay zero in taxes. So why do you think your little $1,000, your little $100,000 is so much more special than a millionaire's money? You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So if you know the tax game, you should never overpay and you should never have to owe, because you're going to always be able to write off and lower your tax, or even put money in an investment account where it lowers your taxes. Right. Don't put that money in the bank. Put it somewhere where it can shelter and lower your taxable income.
And let me tell you, I didn't know that either, because I remember at one point, this was before the business, I had got, I changed jobs a lot, y'all. I changed jobs like I changed clothes. So, when I got ready to start this new job with the 401k and everything, they told me, they said, well, we don't match. And, I'm used to a job where I put in, you put in. So when they said they didn't match, I was like, well, what's the point of me even doing it? It's just my money. Did not realize that was going to lower my taxable income. Right. I didn't know what that meant. So her saying that to me, it didn't make what that mean, So, but I went ahead and did it. But then after I joined the business, that's when I understood. Like, okay, if you do not have a 401k, that means all of your paycheck is potentially taxable. Right. If you have a 401k and you're putting in, say, $1,000 a year, that's $1,000 you knocking off of how much they're gonna tax, of what they're gonna tax you on. And see, I didn't know that. And it's like information like that will kind of change how you think and how you purchase. I mean, my way of shopping and everything has completely changed since starting this business. The way I look at everything has changed. With this business, because it's virtual or whatever, I can take it with me wherever I go. Mm-hmm. So a few years back, we went down to Miami. We went down there for two purposes. The first purpose was to go down here and tell people about my econ. The second purpose was, it just so happened I got friends down there. Right. We got family down there. So just two things can be true at the same time. Mm-hmm. It can be a trip to visit and have fun, but it can also be a business trip at the same time. But you are the one who has to make it be a business trip. And I don't mean by just saying, I'm going to put on here that I went down here for business. When I went to Miami, I actually invited friends and former coworkers out to eat. While we were at the restaurant, I passed out information about my econ. I talked to them about, the advantages of a home-based business. This was literally the business portion of the trip.
Mm-hmm.
That business portion of the trip paid for the entire trip.
Absolutely.
So it was nothing, mischievous or illegal about it. When it gets to be illegal is when you lie.
Right.
Don't lie.
I like what you said, Melissa, because people think when I'm taking my trip, they think, oh, this Tony, there he go bragging again about where he at. But people don't realize that when you marketing and you're advertising, it solidifies you as a business owner. I go, I do room reviews. Sometimes the rooms be nice, sometimes they don't. But I got eyeballs watching what I'm doing. I'm really sharing the business. Inside of my econ, it has a travel membership, which is an additional cost, but it's pennies on the dollar to actually have a membership that can actually get you 100% back on all of your vacations. Y'all, I was in Europe. I was in Croatia, man. I was Turkey, Greece, and some of these big ticket vacations. All I got to do is just talk about where I am, what type of hotel, what type of food I'm eating. And it's really easy to get people excited about travel. And it's inside of the membership. And guess what, y'all? That's 100% write-off that I'll be able to lower my taxes. I'm talking about $12,000, $15,000 can lower my taxable income down to zero, and I can get more of my money back at my job. That's how you do it. You mesh the business and your job together where you're not paying any taxes, and that's how you give yourself a huge pay raise.
And that's why we call it strategies. Strategies is not a dirty word. It just means it's a plan that you have, that you put thought into, that you are going to execute to bring money back into your household. We got all different types of strategies. This business comes with a do-it-yourself credit repair kit. That is one of the biggest things. And I've been seeing this, I don't watch the news. I ain't big on politics. I've been seeing a lot of memes where people were talking about a credit check. Did something happen with the election where they're talking about they're going to start doing credit checks or something? Did I miss something?
Well, they're always trying to discredit voters, and maybe if your credit bad, they may say, hey, it's always something. I hadn't really paid attention.
Yeah, I didn't know if maybe I missed something, but I've been seeing that a lot, people talking about credit check. And I personally agree. I don't see what my credit has to do with my ability to do a job, because there was a time when my credit score was 591, but I was still a hard worker. I was still doing everything I was supposed to do. So to me, that just felt like a way to kind of exclude me from having a job. And so I didn't understand how that could be a factor. But with that in mind, because credit is such a big thing, and especially with the economy now, a lot of people are having to rely, me myself personally too, having to rely more on credit cards because the cost of goods and services through inflation has gone up so high. So where it used to be, I may not have to swipe as much. Now I'm having to swipe a little more because of how expensive everything is. And when you're doing this swiping and purchasing or whatever, if your credit score is low, you're going to be subject to higher interest rates. So that's just more money they're pulling out of your pocket. So you want to make sure your credit is in good standing. There are so many misconceptions and things that they'll tell you about credit. When we started this business, I found out, I used to think the only thing that was important about credit was paying your bills on time. That's very important, but it's not the only thing. There are actually 5 things that they look at on your credit when they're calculating your score. And the thing of it is, a lot of people like to pay people to help them improve their credit, but our do-it-yourself credit kit is so valuable because, think about it like this. You pay somebody $500 or $600, they get your score up. I don't know what the average is when you go through those companies, but let's just say they get it up 50 points. They didn't tell you what they did. All they did was gave it back, showed you the results. You excited about it. You going out and you telling, yeah, I went to Tony. Tony hooked me up. He went through my credit stuff, got me up 50 points. So right now, you advertising for Tony. You bring the business to him. Tony done did all of this for you, and all he said is sign on the dotted line, you cut him his check, and you out the door. Has Tony told you anything about what you can do to prevent getting back in this situation? Well, if Tony is smart, he shouldn't, because that's some guaranteed repeat business.
Right.
If you fix their credit, but you didn't tell them what you did. So 9 times, I'd say 7 times. I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna say 7 times out of 10, they're gonna be back.
Oh yeah.
Because they didn't learn anything by having somebody else do it for them, versus them sitting there going through the process themselves. Now they're gonna move differently because they've learned it. And with the credit thing, I always say the credit is a valuable piece because you can flip that 3 ways. The first way is you get the kid, which the kid comes with the membership. If you join the membership and start your business with us, you're gonna get that for free. We also sell it as a standalone product for people who may not want to get into business, but they want to learn how to fix the credit. So the first way you can benefit from it is improving your own credit. Because now you've lowered interest rates for yourself. You put yourself in a better position to bargain when you go shopping for that car. You ain't got to be sitting there biting on your nails and rocking back and forth to see if they're going to come back and tell you whether you approved or not. You already know you approved when you walk in. You in the negotiation. Okay, so the second thing is, like I said, some people may not want to join our business, but they want the credit portion. That is a product that we sell. Every time you sell the credit repair kit to someone, you're going to make a profit off of it. Next way that you can flip this thing is, okay, you went through and you did yours. You was like, it was easier than I thought. They talk about it like it's hard, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to meet people that's going to tell you when you offer them the kit, man, I ain't trying to do all that. I'll pay somebody to do it. I don't want to do it. Some stuff we just do not want to do. For example, me personally, even though I've learned a lot about taxes, I don't do my own taxes. Mm-hmm. I will pay somebody else to do it. So credit is a similar thing. So if you are good at it, and this is something that came very easy to you, you can, you already have a business. Just add this to your business. Like where you paid $500 before to get somebody to do it for you. Now that you have the skill, you can market yourself at $400 versus at $500 and bring business in for yourself. So one free credit repair kit that came with this membership has earned you money 3 different ways: by improving your credit situation and getting a better rate on things, by selling it to other people, or by starting your own credit improvement business. Mm-hmm. So you gotta beat that with a stick.
Yeah,
3 for 1.
People don't realize this might see if this makes sense to y'all. It's about leverage, y'all. Like Melissa was saying, and you learn how the system works. You learn it, you teach it to somebody, or you sell it to somebody. It's the same way with me. I like travel. I can use the product. Not only use the product, I can sell the product to somebody else, or I can book somebody's deal for them. So you leveraging a system. We're talking about $1 trillion industry, y'all. Travel, $1 trillion industry. Credit repair, $1 billion industry. We got what they call it. I forgot the other product that we have that we added on, identity theft. It's $1 billion product inside of this one system. And people try to, how in the world is people becoming millionaires because of the marketplace? People are looking for the products that we have. And the founders of the company understand red hot trends. I don't know if you know this, Melissa and other people. We do also have a tax prep service inside of the membership, which will be kicking off next year. So think about this. People that need their taxes done. You refer them to your business, you get paid. People that's going to be taking vacations this year. For Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. You refer them to your membership, you get paid. People that need credit repair. You refer them to your membership and you get paid. you're getting money, multiple streams of income. We're not talking about just that one job. We talk about one stream of income. Your job is honorable. Hey, but man, don't put your faith in that job, because the way the system is set up, if the company's not making money, that means you're not going to make no money. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find that plan B. And if you're going to find a plan B, get something that millions of people need. And we've just shared with y'all all of the things that you can get off of this one membership, and you can make as much money as you want.
Right. And the biggest thing that I like to remind people is, just because you decide to join, you pay your money, you get started. If that is where you stop, meaning you paying your $34 or $39.95 every month, and you thinking, but ain't money just supposed to start falling into your account? No. What you have to do is what we're telling you we did. We got in, learned the information, applied the information, and then started feeling the benefits. Paying the money every month is the easy part. Actually applying the information is where you start seeing the profit. And a lot of people who start off in this type of business get discouraged because they feel like they're going to get started and immediately, boom, everything's going to happen for them. And they're looking at us like, y'all lying, because this ain't doing nothing for me. And I'm like, well, have you went in and looked around in your back office? Are you, applying the principles you're learning? Have you started with the credit repair? Once you get started, it is your business. What I look like come and work in your business for you, and it's your business. I don't expect nobody to come and do mine for me.
Yeah.
I have to get in and do it. But the thing is, once you start making good habits, they'll stick with you. Everything comes easier, because now everything I do, I think of it, how could this be a business for me?
Right.
I was able to benefit when I first started with the travel. And because I told Tony, I said, well, I wish I had started this business earlier, because we're going to Punta Cana in January. And he was like, well, it's not too late, because I had paid for the trip, but I hadn't bought my plane ticket yet, and some of the other stuff. And so I got in there and read about what's the publication that talks about the
463.
Okay, so I got in there, I read that, and that's the good thing. This business comes directly from IRS publications. Everything that they show you, you can go in and find yourself. The only difference is they put all of this in one place for you, so that whatever questions you have, you can figure it out. So even though I had already paid for the trip, when it came time for me to go, I had to get a taxi to the airport. No, I didn't have a taxi. I drove, but I had to leave my car in the parking lot. Okay. I had to check my bags. Yeah. I had to, once we got to the resort, there were still some things that I had to spend money on. What I did, once I got over there, we were there for somebody's birthday, 40th birthday. Well, like I said, two things can be possible at the same time, can be true. So yeah, I was there for the birthday party, but I was also there to introduce everybody to my new business. So what I did when we got ready to go to the event where everybody was there, it was like the birthday dinner. We had to gather in one place and wait on them to get the area ready. That was when I took the time to think, hey, over here, I need to talk to y'all about something.
Yeah, bring it in.
Bring it on in. We just sitting out here. Let me tell y'all.
Yeah.
How much y'all pay to come up here? Because I ain't paying nothing. I said, this is a business trip for me. So that's when I started introducing them. I passed out a sign-in sheet. I told them to put their name, their contact information, and I would be reaching out to them after the trip to give them more information and get them started. And I did get a couple of people enrolled just from doing that. But more importantly, even if had nobody join,
you did your part. Yep.
I did my part. There are only two things you need to have a valid legal business. What are those, Tom?
Proper record keeping and an intent to make a profit.
Exactly. How I did that, 2 birds, 1 stone. When I passed that sign-in sheet around and got everybody's name and contact information, that was me doing that for record keeping. So I don't have to stand up there and try to say when the IRS asks, well,
Who was
How do
it?
we know you really did this? Who attended? I ain't
Yeah.
gotta sit there and make up no people. I have a sign-in list of people
Yeah.
who came. Second thing is, when I got up there and started talking, immediately that was me attempting to make a profit. Anytime I open my mouth and talk about this business, I'm attempting to make a profit.
Right.
So that covered both areas of what you have to do to be a home-based business owner. And I was good. I wrote that whole, well, except for the parts that I had already paid for. But anything I spent going towards that trip after I started this business, it was a write-off. It was a business trip. So
That's
keep
good.
that in mind, y'all. You know, it's the biggest thing that I walked away from learning about this business is you can turn your everyday life into a business if you know how and you know how to do it legally. So it's worth it. The 30 some dollars a month for me was worth it just to learn the information. And then it paid for itself because with the money, as soon as I got started, I ended up bringing home an additional $400 every 2 weeks on my paycheck. That first $400 probably paid for the whole year, the $30 a month for the whole year, right? 30 times 12, yeah. That first paycheck covered all of it. Everything else after that was like profit, you know. And so anyway, we're coming up on an hour, but I just, wanted to make sure to share with everybody how important it is. Because like I said, the election is over. It's going to be a new year, a new regime. You got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, I suggest you get one. And then for those of you like I was talking about Miss Kim and Jill, they are already YouTubers and everything. So they already have their business. If you already have a business, but you're not sure whether you are capturing everything or whether you are, deducting things you're supposed to deduct, it's good when you strike up a live and thousands of people come in your room. You know you're gonna get an AdSense check based on clicks and views and all that. But that's good. But you know what's even gooder? What's even gooder is when you get ready to, because you will be a 1099, because, if you're YouTubing, that means you have a business. So the same things that we're talking about that we apply to this business, you can apply to your business, but you can't apply it if you don't know how. So that is where this business comes in. You can do this along with what business you're already doing. And then you've not only got your business, but you got instructions on how to properly write off and deduct business expenses. That $30 a month is nothing compared to what you get when you find out how much you can write off from having your own business. So think about it that way. Everybody who does this business does it for different reasons. Some people are already established, but they didn't know the income tax side of it. They knew, they're just doing something they love. You know how somebody love to cook, they selling food, and they just, rejoicing in the fact that somebody will pay me for what I'm cooking. But are you writing off your ingredients? Are you writing off your trips to the store to buy your ingredients? Are you writing off the advertising you may be doing to get the word out? All of these things are things that you could be doing to write it off. And if you don't know, that's leaving money on the table. So Tony, any final, professor words before we wrap this thing up?
Real brief. I'm going to say this, not to be too political on y'all. The president-elect is a business owner. I'm going to say, get in position, become a business owner, because the first people that he's going to pacify and satisfy is business owners and investors. So you want to make sure that you're on the right winning side when he start handing out money and cash and benefits, because business owners and investors are the first people that get wealthy, not the working class. You're going to be trying to figure out if they're going to shut down this plant or that job, or the inflation is going to go through the roof. Look, our company will survive in a good or bad economy because pain pushes people. We know that. People are going to want what we have, and you need to be in position to be able to offer what they need. That's my time.
Exactly. Hey, J Truth. She said she been here in business.
Awesome.
Good to see you. So yeah, we coming up on an hour, so we're gonna wrap this up. If anything we said strikes tickles your fancy and you want to know more information,
yes,
reach out to us. Tony's here, the Tony Clopton Show on YouTube. Both of us, Melissa King, Tony Clopton, are on all the social medias. What you got?
I gotta mention this. The holiday promo will be kicking off, I think, next Friday. Every year, the founders always come up with a holiday promo because they know people don't have the cash, but they actually want to get access to the membership. So he usually discounts the membership. So look, get in now for $20. And if you get in now, then you can get other people in probably at a lower rate. So you're talking 6-7 figure income can easily be obtained in the next 2 or 3 months. So don't wait. Get in now and start sharing it when the promo kicks off in the next couple of days.
Yep, and it's usually a good promo. I think last year we were signing people up for $9.
That's right.
Once before it was $4. You know,
right.
So with all of that coming up, keep that in mind. Check out the business. If it's not for you, you haven't lost anything, especially if you get started at a discounted rate. You haven't lost anything. Check it out. Like when you test drive a car, take around the corner, kick the tires, see what you think. If it's not for you, thank you for coming and trying it out. If it is for you, get in there and start getting your money, getting your tax deductions, all that stuff.
All of that stuff.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us. We will be back here again next week. Look at us, Tony. We've been on here, what, three Thursdays in a row?
Yep, you're doing good. You're doing good.
You know, we have fell off bad. So
no, you did. I was still going. You fell off, not me. Ain't no we. Ain't no we.
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. But anyway, y'all, have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next week. And don't forget, if you got any questions, we ain't gonna bug you to death. Just reach out. We give you the information and keep it pushing. We ain't gonna be right here. You ready? You ready? You ready? We ain't gonna be like that.
That's right.
Let me see if I can get us out of here. You know, I struggle with this part. I feel like I'm finna take us on out. Let me see here.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, here we go.
Thanks for tuning in. Are you ready to start your home-based business? If your answer is yes, contact Melissa or Tony and get started today.